Okie dokie folkies. So it's another Wednesday, which means that we have more War Machine for your enjoyment. So, if you've been following today's updates, you've seen the unboxing of the Bane Thralls. Nice powerful unit for Cryx in close combat. Stealth, Weapon Master, very nice and very easy to power up as well with some attachments. But getting off track, what this video is all about today is this young man. So what I have for you here is Goreshade the Bastard, Warcaster of Cryx. So Goreshade, the fallen elvish prince, spent an age researching as to why there were babies in his race being born with no souls, why his gods had abandoned him. And he got crazier and crazier and more obsessed, and eventually he did something fairly heinous. He strode into the council chamber after taking one of the soulless babies from a member of his own family and dashed its head against the rocks in the council chamber. They all went nuts and it started a civil war, and eventually Goreshade's side, or Goreshade as he was called as an elf, lost. He was chased out, they found some of the experiments he was doing, it all went sour, and in the end his only option was to tear out his own soul and become some sort of undead monstrosity. So now all he really does is works for the faction of Cryx and the Dark Dragon Toruk, but he has a lot of his own agendas. So let's take a look in at some more detail on him. The runes that are set into the top of his armour are quite difficult to actually get in to paint. The ones in Bloodcleaver were a little bit easier. I'm very tempted to go over them with an airbrush just to give them a little bit more of a glowing effect around them. So his great magical weapon with reach, Bloodcleaver, all the runes across his armour. A little bit of shading to give some shadow across the cloak with his house etchings on. And of course, that base. So many skulls, and that little fleck that's on there can disappear. So that is my Warcaster, Goreshade the Bastard. Now Goreshade has an attached model. Goreshade has one of those little elvish babies that he stole that follows him around. Let's move him out of the focus. So this is the Deathwalker. Similar sort of base, just to keep everything all in theme. Now this model was interesting for me, quite a lot of fun to paint, because I don't normally do things like cloth. So similar to what I had with Lady Justice, where I don't normally do flesh and leather. So let's go in for a bit more detail on her face, and of course the cleavage. So what I ended up doing to paint this little beauty was I undercoated all of the cloth in Games Workshop's Space Wolf Grey, which is one of their old colours. It's a very, very light, almost a bluey grey. And then over the top of that I did a watered down wash of blue, a glaze of blue, and then just picked out and highlighted areas back up with Space Wolves Grey. Nice and simple, a little bit of layering, and it's come out looking absolutely lovely. So yes, the Deathwalker, one of Goreshade's soulless babies that was stolen. Rules wise, if Goreshade is disabled within, I believe it's either 3 or 5 inches of the Deathwalker can be killed instead, and Goreshade's fine, and he regains D3 wounds, I believe. It's either 1 wound or D3 wounds. I can't remember which of that looking at the card, which I don't have in front of me at the moment. So can kill her to save him. If Deathwalker is already dead and Goreshade kills somebody with Bloodcleaver, a living enemy model with Bloodcleaver, you can get the Deathwalker back. So these two are a matched pair at the moment. They're the only things so far that are painted in my War Machine army. But the next project will either be the Slayer Helljack or going through the Banes. I haven't quite decided which yet, but we'll see what comes up and takes my fancy. Thanks for watching, folks. This is the end of War Machine Wednesday for this week, and I will see you on Friday for some 40k goodness, and of course next Wednesday more War Machine. All the best, folks. Take care. Bye.